all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Back here enjoy the Bossman show. We're with Coach Zach Claus here of the Idaho Vandals out of the Big Sky Conference. Coach, how are things going out there in Idaho, man?
Doing terrific. Thank you for having me.
Coach, I know it's been a whirlwind for you getting the job in July, man. What has it been like, this whirlwind from now, and we're here in August as we get ready for the fall camp to open up in October, man? What's it been like for you to get the chance to lead this squad so far?
Well, it's obviously been a big change, but one that I embraced and am really looking forward to. Have made, comments in the past that the players, they were here during all of it, and whether it was our returning guys or all of our incoming guys, the combination of the two meshing so well together, they've made it. Obviously, what has been a challenge has made it all terrific on my end. They've been really receptive. They've been supportive of one another. They've worked their tails off. They did a really, really good job in the classroom with their summer classes, and now the majority of them are home, spending some much needed time with their family, a little bit of downtime away from here. Because obviously when we bring everybody back at the end of the month for the start of school and we get going with workouts, and before you know it, practice is on top of you. So it's always important to get everybody home, give them a chance to hug their mothers, get some home cooked meals. But it's been a whole lot of fun, and we're looking forward to a great season.
And Coach, the adversity of how things went down, you get the job later. I feel like it's gonna make you guys so much closer. Because when you have some adversity, it shows what kind of character you have, the kind of integrity you have, and what you have inside of you. And I feel like this experience gonna make your guys a little bit more rugged, a little more tougher than most teams are early in the year because of what you've been through already, which has been kind of a weird circumstance. But it's good for you, but also but it's good for them as well that you all come together, went through it all at the same time, and have the same goal in mind. We got through this. We can win this game because we went through this in July and August. Look where we're at now.
You definitely are onto something there, because I know that our returning guys welcomed the incoming guys with open arms, because we needed to add some depth and talent to this roster. And the new guys have been very open-minded, and a big thanks to our incoming guys, because they took a chance on our staff to remain here. I mean, they could have easily said, with everything that was going on with the indecision, they could have pulled the plug and said, you know what, it's in my best interest to look into another program or do something else with my next step for college basketball. But they chose to honor their commitment by coming to the University of Idaho. They saw enough positive with their, incoming and existing teammates, with our staff, and I make mention of it on a regular basis. We're very fortunate in that the people that have their hands on our players on a daily basis, from Jake Scharnhorst, who's our strength coach, to Krista Gray in academics, to Joe St. Pierre, who handles all of our media, and then all the way to Justin Pomar, who's our athletic trainer. Those people that have, an immediate impact on our guys each and every day just make everything run smooth. And we're very fortunate that way. We've got some terrific people in this department, again, on our staff that have made it possible for the kids. But again, I think you're onto something, that these guys are rallying around one another and have definitely supported one another over the past month and a half.
And Coach, what did it mean to you for the administration to give you the opportunity to lead this team? Because I'll tell you what, for them to tab you as an interim coach, I mean, that must have meant a lot to you, because you've paid your dues in this business, from being a basketball ops guy to becoming an assistant coach on the bench. So you've paid your dues. So for them to look at you and say, hey, Coach Zach, we trust you to lead this program this year to get these young men where we want to be in the Big Sky Conference.
Well, I certainly take it as a compliment that they entrusted that to me. But at the same time, again, I work with a terrific staff, and I know that our sole focus is to make sure that we have a terrific season ahead, that we pour all of our energy into making this the most positive experience for these kids in this program for the upcoming season, and then we go from there.
And Coach, for the workouts, were you implementing some scheme-wise? You were just trying to see what you had for the guys, or trying to get them some shots up, get them some drill work done, get them some conditioning done? Were you trying to actually put in some schemes for doing the 4 hours you guys had to work out each week?
The biggest thing, and I've always kind of thought this, is that the summer is a basketball player's best opportunity to improve from an individual standpoint. And so once we, really were hands-on and on the floor and getting after it with daily workouts, it was more so about getting back to fundamental stuff, whether it be footwork, passing, ball handling, and obviously a whole bunch of shooting, making sure our guys were getting plenty of reps. Because, from the summer, you're limited in terms of the time that you have with them. And I go back to, our strength coach. He has such a he does such a good job with our guys, and has such a persona about him, and just puts off such a level of toughness and confidence that I didn't want to take anything away from the amount of time that we spend in the weight room as a whole, because again, this is a group that needed to get bigger and stronger and quicker and more agile in the weight room. So it was a combination of a great deal of individual workouts on the court, and then getting into the weight room and, spending that extra time in there to improve individually. And, once we get them back here in the fall, once school gets started, we'll do more in groups, and then we'll start doing more team stuff as practice approaches. And I know we have a long season, and I know that we're fortunate to have an older group that I know will be able to pick up on stuff quickly. So again, the summer was more geared toward them individually.
And Coach, speaking of your team's play this year, when teams watch Idaho Vandals play, what do you want them to take from watching your team play every night as you compete this season?
Well, I'd say right off the top, guys that play hard, that compete, from the opening tip to the final buzzer, and no matter what the score is. And we play the game the right way. We're moving the ball, we're sharing the ball, we're complimenting one another, we're picking up one another when we dive after a loose ball, but we're also respectful of our opponent. We play the right way, and that this team's going to compete each and every time they're out for a game.
Yes, indeed, Coach. And instead of having an older group at the mid-major level, Coach, having an older group is dangerous because those guys know how to play. Some of these, how we school, all these young kids are still developing, don't know how to play the right way. And guess what? You go and get some in the non-conference schedule or catch them in March. A team like yours, a little older, they can beat those teams because they're not used to those pressure-packed moments that your team maybe are used to because they're a little bit older.
I agree with you. I think, we've got a bunch of guys that are hungry to play at this level that, again, like we talked about previously, that are rallying around one another and, through not only, the little bit of adversity this summer, but, coming off of a year where, admittedly we struggled and, struggled a little bit in terms of, just guys not quite being ready to play at this level. I don't anticipate that being the same this upcoming year. We have guys that have been through it. We have guys that have played at a high level, whether they've come from, junior college or a 4-year transfer. Doesn't matter. They're going to be ready to hit the ground running and compete each and every time out.
And it's about the Big Sky. We know Montana's been on top of the league with Coach DeCure, and those guys have been playing great for years. Mm-hmm. Shante Leggins up there at Eastern Washington. Randy Ray always does good at Weaver State as well. Barrett's getting better at Portland State. You also got Danny Sprinkle right there in your backyard there getting the game down there. His alma mater. So he coaches the league. We've got a lot of great guys in the league, man. I know everybody's going for Montana, so as you all prepare for this year, do you kind of try to look at your league and say, I think we got to beat the guys from our league, kind of prepare our roster, make our rotations, make our schemes, kind of beat the guys from our league? Because even in our conference schedule-wise as well, it's kind of always with that idea of kind of getting the Big Sky and we didn't get that automatic bid when you get that big dance in March there.
No question. And, I was fortunate enough to play in the Big Sky, so between playing in it and then coaching at multiple places in this conference, it's one that's been near and dear to my heart for many, many years. And the level of play has always been very high, and always starts and finishes with a very high level of guard play in this conference. And I know that will continue to be. And you rattled off some very talented coaches that do a terrific job of leading their program. And, it always starts with Weaver State and Montana that, you're always kind of gauging your team on how those two hold up. And, they've both been wonderful representatives of our conference with, winning conference titles in the last few years and going on to play in the NCAA tournament. And, that you better be ready, every Thursday and Saturday and, a few Mondays sprinkled in with the way the schedule is. But it's a very talented and balanced top to bottom conference. And, we know that non-conference is always important and, a chance to get yourself going. But we know that we've got to be playing our best basketball as we get into January and February, and obviously then into mid-March when we have our conference tournament. But it's a great league, and we're fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah, the Big Sky, as a kid, man, I used to watch the games. Like I said, I'm a basketball junkie. I used to watch on ESPN, all those college stations, and stay up late and watch the games out west there. So, yeah, Coach, I remember you playing the Big Sky. I remember that. So, like I said, I remember his name when he played in the league. So, my dad got me into sports. So, I think my dad, from my basketball acumen about all the sporting college teams I know about, man, it was so great. But I want to ask you, Coach, in your career, man, playing and coaching, who've been some people who have been really key to you in your success as you are the head coach of Idaho right now?
Well, from a coaching standpoint, I was very fortunate. I spent 10 years coaching at the University of Nevada, and I was brought on when Mark Fox, who's now the head coach at Cal, when he was there, and then after he left to go to Georgia, I stayed there and worked for David Carter. And I've known Coach Carter since 1996 when I transferred out to play at Eastern Washington, and he was an assistant there. And, to work with and for those two guys was fantastic, and learned a great deal from them. And to have both of them as mentors has been tremendous for me as I've continued on coaching since my time at Nevada. And then I would, you asking me that question, it spits me out to, my biggest coaching mentor, who I'm fortunate enough I talked to literally about 30 minutes ago, and his name is Jeff Smith. He actually is still teaching at Lincoln Southeast High School, where I'm from, and actually both of us attended, and he is the reason why I initially went out to Eastern Washington. Years ago, and that's going back to when the NCAA still had their restricted earnings coach, and he was that coach at Nebraska, and went with Steve Aggers, who was my head coach at Eastern Washington, and he got the job out there and said, "What do you think? You want to take a chance and go with me?" And I got to tell you, it was maybe the best decision I've ever made, because it gave me the chance to play for him for a couple of years and spend more time with him. And I met my future bride, Tony, at Eastern Washington, because she played volleyball there. And so it was a win-win for me, and he, to this day, remains my biggest mentor that I have.
Coach, it's mighty funny you say that. I was out the phone with my girlfriend, and we talked about how we met, which is kind of weird how we met, how we came about. So to see you say that, basically, I had a conversation with my girlfriend about how we met. So I really fucking out the show with you right now. So you say you went to this white met your bride, how I met my girlfriend at Atlanta Hawks game of all places. It's kind of things.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
So, man, it's fairly, we had the same conversations pretty much as like an hour ago. But, yeah, Coach, I'm so happy for you to get this job, man. I love college basketball. I love talking to coaches around the country. I love giving y'all a platform, talk to the kids here in Georgia and outside of Georgia as well, where I affiliates, because I feel like mid-major basketball is not covered the way it should be. And if I have a platform, I'm definitely going to give you guys some airtime and cover you guys the best way I possibly can.
Well, that's terrific. I appreciate that, and we're definitely happy to join you.
Yes, Nick, Coach Zach, have a great time out there and leading those Vandals, man. We'll talk to you real soon, buddy.
Okay. Thank you again for having me. Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Go Vandals.
Yes, indeed. Folks, that's Coach Zach Claus here on the Bossman Show.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay.
Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.